Welcome back. Uncertainty over the state of the North Korean regime. This comes after the South Korean intelligence reported the brutal execution of the nation's defense minister.
A South Korean lawmaker present when the claims were made says no single incident led to the apparent killing of Hyun Yong-chol late last month. The source says the senior official was accused of general disobedience to the leader Kim Jong-un, and also he was seen sleeping during a meeting organised by Kim, apparently more than once.
That's right. Seoul's intelligence officials say Kyung was killed by an anti-aircraft gun in front of hundreds of witnesses at a military school. Another instance of execution by anti-aircraft guns in North Korea has also been reported. The Committee for Human Rights in North Korea and All Source Analysis Incorporated say satellite imagery from October 2014 shows a military training area north of Pyongyang.
This is like a firing range, actually, and instead of troops at the firing positions, the human rights group says ZPU-4 anti-aircraft guns are lined up. These are pretty fearsome weapons. The Committee for Human Rights says the targets are located just 30 metres from the barrels. The ZPU-4 was originally used by the Soviet military, and it can go a lot further than 30 metres. It sits on four wheels, you see it there, and it has four powerful machine guns. They have a range of 8,000 metres. It can fire 2,400 rounds per minute. It's basically like having four 50 calibre weapons sitting there on one unit. It's an extraordinary weapon. Let's go now to Seoul and Greg Scarlatoiu, the Executive Director of the Committee for Human Rights in North Korea. And I've been around a few 50 calibre weapons and anti-aircraft guns, and it's just staggering what this would do to a human body. One bullet from a 50 cal could take your limb off. I mean, what is the message, and it must be a message, in the manner of this supposed execution?
It is a terrifying message. Remember that North Korea is still a Confucian culture. Leaving a body after someone's death is extraordinarily important. These individuals are absolutely obliterated. It is hard to imagine the kind of damage that a 50mm ZPU-4 would do to the human body. It would be literally pulverized. It's all about the fear politique, the politics of terror instated by Kim Jong-un.
And quite incredible, even though this is such a shocking execution, if it has taken place. You've found out that it may not be the first. You've seen satellite images that show this may have happened last year and some years before this. What did you ascertain from those satellite images?
What we can ascertain from those satellite images is that we see the six ZPU-4 batteries aligned along the firing line. Once again, these are weapons that are used at fairly long range. We're talking thousands of meters. We see targets lined up only 30 meters downrange. This is for the first time that we had proof that this is a practice in Kim Jong-un's North Korea. We had had reports from North Korean defectors. We had had reports from media organizations with sources inside the country that these executions were taking place. Now, for the first time, through this satellite imagery analyzed by All Source Analysis and the Committee for Human Rights in North Korea, we have hard proof that indeed this is happening in North Korea under Kim Jong-un's rule.
And Greg, what does it say about the man and how he is behaving? I mean, either paranoid or is it a demonstration of strength? He clearly doesn't trust many people. We had one defector in a piece we ran the other day saying that he wouldn't last 3 years. What do you think?
Certainly, he had only 3 years to prepare to become leader of North Korea. His father had 20. He was only 27, 28 years old when he became leader of North Korea. His father was 53. He didn't really have a power base. This purging of officials has been extraordinarily intense. Since 2012, according to South Korean intelligence, at least 70 senior officials have been executed. During the same period early in his father's reign, basically just 1/3 of that number, just about 20 senior officials have been executed. It also tells us quite a bit about his personal insecurity. He lacks the skills, he lacks the power base, thus this intense purging of officials in an attempt to continue to establish his grip on power. The regime continues to be unstable. Officials of the North Korean military, the internal security agencies, the Workers' Party, and also even the inner core of the Kim family regime have been purged, executed, together with family members who are sent to the camps. It is hard to predict whether something will happen within the next 3 years or not, but what is certain is that the North Korean regime is now more unstable than ever.
Yeah, and with nuclear weapons. Greg Scarlatoiu, thank you so much there with the Committee for Human Rights in North Korea. Thanks so much. That's a terrifying thing. I mean, you've got somebody who's unstable by all accounts who has nuclear weapons.
And clearly maintains this culture of fear amongst his inner circle.
Yeah, you wouldn't, don't fall asleep in a meeting. Yeah.
Let's move on. The US Embassy in Kabul says an American citizen was killed in an attack on a hotel in Afghanistan. Gunmen stormed the Park Palace guest house in an area of Kabul popular with foreigners.
Yeah, Afghan special forces arrived at the scene. Police were there as well. They killed 3 gunmen, and police are now going floor to floor, rescuing dozens of guests who are still inside the hotel and presumably hiding in fear. They say they are almost finished clearing that building.